meeting of 2022. I guess this is so off to a new
Morning,
year.
Jennifer.
Ready to go. So I guess we'll go ahead and call to order. Jennifer, you've got the roll. Are we good to go here? Has everybody had a chance to take a look at the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Jennifer sent out. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move.
Second.
Patrick seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Something. Are there any opposed? Okay, so we will call the minutes approved. And plunge right on into the meeting. I don't meeting, which is good. The first order of business is our budget, and I guess we have an update, Jennifer, on or Jerry on what's going on with the budget for next year.
I'm not totally sure what's going on with the budget next year. And Jen and I talked a little bit yesterday. I think we need to figure out what we might like to have and put that in as a request, and we'll see where it goes.
So
Yeah, but not anything of a larger scale. Like we're
Yeah.
scaling back. So, just figure out what is our what we want, like kind of like minimum, I guess.
Mhm.
and this is the budget for not the year that starts this June, but
For July,
July 1.
This will start
July
July 1
of this year.
of this year.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, do we have what we asked for in the past? I mean, I think the past couple of years, obviously we've not had as much going on, but
Yeah, so we normally ask for like our events and then we'll request some larger scale stuff, but sometimes it gets approved, sometimes it gets denied. So it's like poetry, lifetime achievement. We've had requests before for awards of excellence, but I think that's on hiatus.
Chalk Fest.
no,
That's part, yeah.
not
Oh yeah, there's just the
West
chocolate foam on the
Arts.
sidewalk thing.
Concert.
I was
Concert.
gonna say concert. Yeah, did
But-
we put money toward the Baroque, or was that totally?
No, that was
That was
we got
funded,
that-
wasn't it?
That
by
came
them?
after budget last year, after we
totally
did our budget for
wonderful?
last year.
Okay.
So
What if we put
did
it in,
not have
what if we put it in there just so they can cut it? I mean, I'm serious.
Yeah,
think
no,
we
I
should
know.
Put some in that we could, that they could.
I mean, they're
cut,
gonna want to cut. I mean, it's gonna make everybody feel good. So why don't we put in something that we don't really anticipate getting, like Baroque? Just an idea.
Fair enough.
I think it's a good idea.
Wow.
Makes sense.
I think if you want to continue with music festivals, then we really should ask for some money for Baroque or a summer music concert or whatever this group decides they'd like to do.
Yeah. Well, definitely those summer concerts. I mean, I know that's been I think we still haven't paid for last year's one.
No, we have not.
But I mean, we should be paying for those.
Excuse me, at these concerts, could we have, you remember how we used to have the pig? Could we have something where people could make a donation there that night? It's all free, but I don't think it's bad to say, keep these concerts coming,
Mhm.
Well, what
Well, you
about
know,
on
at
the
the-
website when, that talks about have a link?
At the Hawthorne House, the Hawthorne House, right?
Hawken.
Hawken House. They have a couple of cute little kids with buckets running around the crowd, and they
Yeah.
do quite well.
I think because it's an impulse thing that even if you're just getting, $5, they do it at Garden Cafe. When he has it, he walks around with a bucket and, you can give what you want, but I mean, that's the only income he has, but I'm saying it could help us, supplement some things maybe.
I think it's a good idea, and it also gets people more, I think, when they give you $10 or whatever's in their pockets, I think it gets them more engaged. really.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
But you're not asking them, you can't come in if you don't have any money. I mean, it's open for everybody.
You just wander around a couple of times during the night with a bucket. And again, a cute kid maybe, and
Well, maybe we could
just
get some
smile
old
and hold the
musical-
bucket out. It's like church.
Get some old music, like violin cases with slots in them, something like that to get the music idea going.
Yeah, but that's not the budget.
Yeah,
No, I'm
I-
saying as a supplement to it.
I
Yeah.
totally agree, but I think in terms of asking what we're asking for, we should ask.
Oh, yeah,
ask money to,
this just popped in my head as we were
Yeah.
discussing. So, yeah, no, I think, when we're talking about budget and how much money we can get, and how much extra we should ask for, it just popped in my head as another passive thing to get some,
Well, we should.
But I would
ask-
say as far as the budget goes, some money for the concert at the Masons and a little bit of money to help the folks out at Burr Oak.
Mhm.
We should probably ask more and expect less.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Oh, sure.
I mean,
that's it.
we're being asked to cut a significant amount from our budgets this year, so. Yes, it
Yes,
will.
The
definitely be less.
the police department has been asked to cut $750,000
Over 3 years,
over 3
but
years.
yes.
What's
God.
what's
Oh,
what's
250
that
a
percentage
year.
of their budget?
I don't know.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot
Yeah,
of
I mean,
money.
every department's got requests of that nature, of proportional
Magnitude.
nature. Yeah. And so while ours is a smaller budget, it is still a hefty portion that we're going to need to cut.
Well, why don't we just leave it like we did last year and go with it?
We can do a final, I was checking times. I was checking the calendar for when I have to have everything finalized. We can do a final vote at the next meeting. If we want to look at
Let's
everything,
just-
and I can send
let's
out what we
just-
had.
Ask and they're going to do whatever they're going to do. I mean,
They are, but I'm saying I'm being asked to submit a smaller budget.
oh,
So Jennifer, I don't know, do you have that on a computer now, or can we for the next meeting?
We
for you?
can for the next meeting. I can't get into my files. I thought I had it. I'm at
Because I
home,
was thinking if we
obviously.
if you could share your screen or something with what we have.
Yeah.
For this year, so that we actually know what numbers we're talking about, that might
Yeah.
help us. Sorry, and I'm seeing there's I guess.
I saw a message flash, but I didn't catch what it was.
I know.
It's Dave Buck.
Oh,
Tip jars, yeah, okay. Well, thank you, Dave. That's good input. We'll,
message.
it's in the chat box. He says that
Oh.
tip jars they do them at Porch Fest, so.
Where's the chat box?
Oh, I don't know. Mine comes up at the bottom of my
Yeah, on your
screen.
little-
Mine's at the bottom too. I don't know.
Yeah, the
Can you
big-
just open that then?
Yeah.
yes,
mhm.
I just,
Click on it, and if you make it a full screen, you
Oh,
can
I
actually
got
read
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Because mine otherwise prints a single letter in a column. all the way down.
that's fun.
If you
Thanks,
click on
Dave.
it, you can read it and then click the X and it goes away. I know, 2 years into this and we're all still figuring Zoom out.
Yeah. And I haven't done it I haven't run it in a really long time. So I'm like,
Why don't we come up with what we think is reasonable, give it to Jennifer, she'll look at it, she'll adjust it in terms of what she thinks is acceptable, passable, we'll hope
Yeah.
for the best and get what we get.
Yeah, Patrick, I agree. I'm just saying, let's work at it from rather than reinventing the wheel. Let's look at what we had this year.
Well, I would think that whatever we do would be based completely on what we did last year.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
yeah.
And if
And
we could do
I can't recall if we had anything in there that Don had wanted to budget for awards of excellence or anything. I'll take that out, etc. So
I mean, if the city thinks that a concert is not something that it wants to put money in, we'll find another way to do a concert. Maybe not through the Art Commission, maybe through Webster Arts.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll do a concert anyway, somehow or another, with or without the city.
Are we gonna do 2 concerts then?
That'd be nice. Let's just see what happens.
Like we did this past time, right?
the Baroque
What did we do?
meeting.
2 concerts last night? What?
Well, the
one
Baroque.
and the Baroque.
Oh, Baroque.
So we could do
And
those two.
that was a great effort, really grassroots and roots, sorry. But that was something where we kind of stepped in and helped them with some, some expertise and and I would imagine that's very much of a local neighborhood thing that they do, and it was really fun working with them. I imagine they'll do that again.
I might suggest that somebody talk to them. I mean, one of us needs to talk with them and see what the plans are for the coming year. And whether they want us to work with them or how that's working. I think we need to have a conversation with Walter and Margot soon.
I think
Great idea, yeah.
I can talk to
I'm
them.
planning on calling Walter anyway, because he offered to help me with Poetry Month this year.
Oh,
So
Oh,
I'll
that's
put a
great.
call into him today.
Thank you, Lauren. That's awesome.
Weather permitting, maybe we could do something with the poetry at the Baroque, keep that venue in people's minds as a,
it's a separate event. That'd be cool.
as a cool place for gatherings.
Would it have to be odes or something if it's Baroque poetry? I don't-
I just
Stop
mean I just mean the play, the venue. Yeah, it could be. Maybe.
That would be branching out.
Oh,
I-
Patrick, can we mute him?
Okay, I'll just leave.
I've memorized
No.
I've memorized Beowulf, and I'd be glad to, perform that.
I think that would be wonderful.
Oh,
In costume.
That's a crowd pleaser.
It takes
costume.
2.5 days, but
I'd pay to see
that
that.
was a joke. I don't know anything.
No, write it down.
I will attend as Grendel, the monster.
Can read it
I
in
have a
old
Budget for
English.
that?
I was thanking Patrick for that role, but
I would love it. Sign me up, definitely.
All right.
Never
All
get a
right,
chance to wear that Grindle suit. Yeah.
Jennifer, does that get us a good start on? the-
Yes, and I'll be in touch. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, moving on then, it is time to start talking about Poetry Month, I guess we're doing this year. Lauren, how are things looking?
Well, I haven't started anything yet, but I will start today. I want to Walter, when I met with him on my front porch last year, he said he had some ideas on how to help me get better attendance at things. And clearly he knows what he's talking about. So I'm going to call him. I want to do the children's poetry workshop again. I want to do the haiku again. I want to do the poetry reading at the Garden Cafe. And I'm wondering, I loved, I think it was Jerry's idea last year to do a reading on the front steps of City Hall. Do you think it's too late to do the Amanda Gorman thing again? Or do you think that that's okay? I thought that was such a cool idea. And at this moment right now, I can't remember why. It was weather. We had to cancel it because of weather last year.
Still relevant.
I agree.
Yeah,
It is very relevant.
yeah, more so.
I mean, I had enough kids who were planning on doing the reading. I had 4 kids who were gonna split it up 4 ways to read it. I thought it was a really cool idea.
I had a poster already
Yeah.
for that event when you canceled. So that part's at least for people to look at.
Mhm. What do you think?
yeah. Why
And
not?
I think it's nice that it's an outdoor event too. I mean, I know that becomes weather dependent, but I don't know how we feel about this, or if the city has a policy about this, because it is nicer to have things in person. unless you become a.
I'm sorry,
super-
it's nicer to what?
To be in person, to actually have a
Oh,
poetry
yeah.
Oh,
reading.
yeah.
But then I don't know where we are on our COVID. I mean, obviously here we are back all Zoom.
Well, we could plan everything and we can always change it at the last minute.
Yeah. So
It'd
do
have to
we
be
plan?
outdoors, so
I think it's better to plan because. if-
outdoors, no problem, is it? I mean,
Right. I mean, outdoors, no problem. What I'm wondering, Jennifer, I'm actually looking at you here. Do we have a city policy? Can we plan indoor? Or do we have to plan Zoom for the haiku workshop and the children's workshop? And
I don't know if we have a policy.
You know what,
Um,
I think I'm just gonna do what I did last year, which was the gazebo, one of the gazebos at Blackburn Park for the children's workshop.
perfect.
I thought that was really nice to be outside. And
Kids will love
then,
it.
yeah, and then the garden cafe event was outdoors at their, you know, in the back. It was cold, but it was still wonderful. So I think outdoor is good. And our haiku workshop was via Zoom last year.
I think we have one of our tip jar collectors. It's just wandered into the sofa.
think
there
you're
with
right.
Beth.
He's very unreliable. I don't know if he'd get the fun.
But he's cute if anything.
He passed the audition.
He passed the audition. Sorry, Lauren, I was completely distracted by the cute kid there. So what can we do to help then? I mean, you're,
Yeah, we definitely need to.
we need to jump in.
Well, I'll want John's help again with posters if he's okay with that.
oh yeah, I'm fine, whatever you need.
Lauren, is this something that you
I'll
work
be
with?
glad to meet, you know, when you have your meetings too, and whatever.
Okay,
whatever comes
that'd be
up.
great. That would be great, John. Thank you.
Now, are you
At this
involved
point,
with
At this
Dwight?
point, I'm sorry, what?
Is Dwight a part of this? Dwight Pitcofer? Okay.
So at this point, it's really easy to plan Poetry Month. What we do need help with is promoting and just getting the word out so that we can get, you know, we never have a problem getting a nice crowd for the reading at the Garden Cafe. That's been nicely attended ever since we started. It's the children's workshop that I really need help with. So.
And attendance, like, I think trying to show up ourselves to some things is helpful.
Yes, yeah. I
Also,
love
timing for your marketing stuff, you know, it's gonna be the whole week of April, so, I mean, the whole month of April, so.
Yeah.
We need to get stuff out in March.
Yeah.
So the dates would have to be, you know, at least solidified early enough to get it on the material.
Yeah.
Good news is the March meeting is the same as this one, the first.
Okay.
If I can, one thing about the children's workshop, I think that is, if there's an opportunity, I know that before it's been like, oh, you know, that kids obviously have to be able to kind of like be of the read and write level, but if there's an opportunity to also do like an event for like these younger crazies that parents are always looking for things to do with them. So maybe if it's just like reading poems that are appropriate for younger kids and just getting that generation introduced, that might help get a bigger crowd. Because once you start getting that older kids, they have the sports and they have that, you know, it's harder to find a common time that everyone can participate. But these young guys are always looking for stuff. So that just might help. And I'm something I could do, like even connect with the library to have like, you know, something have somebody do, you know, some readings of fun books, kind of like a story hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the person that does the children's workshop, you know, prefers to have kids who can read and write. So if someone wants to, like, if you'd like to help me think of something for younger kids, that would be great, Beth.
Yeah, I think it's a cute idea though. I mean, just Dr.
Yeah.
Seuss or something, just to read
Yeah.
fun kids poetry. And
Yeah, maybe we can do something with the library
yeah,
for that.
Are there any storyteller type folks, in Webster that might be interested in doing a reading of children's poetry to a group of kids, I'm
Is
sure
there a children's adaptation of Beowulf?
You what?
I'd probably,
Beowulf, yeah. I
In
think
Old
it's like
English.
Peter and the Beowulf.
when you cut out all the stuff that's not safe for kids, it's about 3 words, isn't
Yeah,
it?
be over in a second. Hello, goodbye.
I had a professor in college who had an album of the Old English of it and just
Oh.
played that one class period. We can do that. They won't know what's happening.
We can all read Chaucer.
I'm thinking Beowulf to jazz.
God.
Bebop,
We
bebop,
could have it to
Beowulf.
rock and roll, but we already lost Meatloaf, so we wouldn't be able to do
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Oh,
All right. Lauren,
Can I add one thing? When I used to read a lot to kids in school, and that Shel Silverstein book.
Oh.
I don't know if you know,
Oh,
the
yeah.
kids
Or the sidewalk.
love those pieces. I mean,
Mhm.
Lauren, that would be the most perfect book to read from for the little ones, because
Yeah.
you've got goopy spaghetti and just the guy who's
Yeah,
That
never
would be
washed
great.
and all that stuff. They love. I used to do that all the time with them. They loved it.
And you could give them like a coloring page, when they show up to take home and color and bring back, you know what I mean? Of that
Mhm.
poem, you know what I mean? Like a
yeah,
figure from that poetry or from that thing.
yeah.
Of course, it'd
Yeah,
have
I
our,
didn't-
our name and organization on the, logo on it. So if it doesn't come back, we didn't even need it to come back, just as a memory thing, take this home, color it, put it on the refrigerator,
I didn't mean to add one more thing to Lauren's list either. I know that there's a lot going on, and it may just be as simple, and I could try to reach out to the library, but it may just be as simple as like co-branding something. If the library is already doing a story time, could we ask them during the month of April to focus
Yeah.
on maybe a book of Shel Silverstein poetry, and to, have it, their announcement be that this is presented with the Arts Commission for Poetry Week, something. So we don't have to totally reinvent the wheel. If they already have a following, that might be
They do have their story time that they have on Facebook Live, because
Yeah, so maybe just getting that in front of people in a different way.
We could even, I mean,
Yeah.
again, I know this would be a budget item, but it wouldn't be very expensive. We could print up like bookmarks that, promote the poetry month, and they could insert them in any books people take, just to get it out at the level, because you got people that are interested in literature, and so, they may not focus or think it's for them when they see it out in the, in the Paneras or wherever we put up a poster, but if they got a little bookmark in there, it's a usable thing.
Yeah.
Lauren, do we involve the junior high and high school kids in Poetry Month? I mean, do the school know? Or?
We've always had a group of high school kids that come to the poetry reading at the Garden Cafe.
Or even
For me, that's really the highlight.
Are the junior high?
I love the kids. Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Or even the junior high kids, or like I wonder if there would be this might sound crazy, like you would have to review it, but someone could they could write poetry and then come and read it. The junior high kids as well as some high school kids. Or...
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to get them acclimated.
Think about that. Yeah. 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 Thanks for the ideas, guys.
well, seriously, Lauren, let us know how everybody can help out, because that piles a lot on your plate to have more events and more activities. And obviously there's a commission here, so.
Yeah. I will, I'll send out I'll see if anyone wants to have a quick meeting to work on Poetry Month. Okay.
Okay. All right, and Beth has volunteered to, can everybody read the chats? Is everybody keeping up with
Yep.
it? Okay, I won't read the chats in that case. So Poetry Month, that brings us down to the category of miscellaneous. I don't know if there's anything else that anyone wants to.
Well, what is the status of person of achievement?
That's a good
I
question.
see in the minutes that we had discussed, I was trying to remember, honestly, I memory wasn't that good, but we haven't really determined a
Mm-mm.
person yet or a
No,
date
I
or
mean,
anything? Is this something we want to do though? I mean, of course we do. Should
it would be
we?
for what, October normally or the fall?
Yeah, but it does seem like,
Just to keep it on the record and just to mention it and keep it in the notes and you know, I mean, next fall is a long way off, but
We probably need a list of who we would like to have.
Should we
that would be a good
discuss,
first
There's
step.
no list anymore.
should we discuss maybe what, what discipline of art we would want to select the person from, or just, I mean, maybe that would help us narrow down to more consideration, like maybe, have we ever had a novelist or,
well, wasn't, and is Judy still on the commission, right? Is she?
She was gonna maybe be able to join late, but she wasn't
Because
sure.
she was talking about, Jane Smiley, was she? talking-
yeah,
Jane
yeah,
Smiley?
that was,
And I don't know if she ever reached out or if where that landed.
Yeah, we can check that with Judy.
But yeah, to Patrick's point, I mean, we need to make a decision about who it is probably by the end of the spring so that we can get on their schedule for October. I mean, October's a long way away, but it'll be here the day after tomorrow.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like the way things work, we have a meeting every month. I mean, like it's just a few incremental steps until we're into spring, and summer. So maybe what we could do, get on the agenda for the next meeting is that we get seriously into putting a list together, that those of us who are so inclined, bring a couple of names, we have a little discussion, start a long list. Maybe the following month, get a short list.
You just start with a short list. And move
Well, I'm in a long list of like maybe 6 people.
Well, let's definitely find out, because I know we had talked about Jane Smiley. I'm trying to remember who else.
only one I remember.
Trying to remember, yeah, because I feel like we did Stephen Wolf, and we were talking about Mark from the rep at the same time, and I think
Yes, it begins with a Berman, a B.
yeah, Jerry,
is
help me.
Oakland.
From the rep, we
From the rep.
just,
Burns?
we just, but we just honored Stephen
Yeah.
Wolf.
Yeah,
And so we don't want to go back to the rep. Well, you all can decide that, but I wouldn't think we want to go back.
No, I
to the
don't think
rep.
we should.
No, Mark has retired and has really removed himself from the scene. So,
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess let's do some brainstorming and think up some other options. To John's point, maybe in some other categories. And Dave, I'm sorry, I'm seeing your comments here about poetry. I think that was still related to Poetry Week though, so.
Yeah.
I think a good point. Do we want to start the process of discussing summer concerts too? Speaking of things that'll be here before we know it,
Yes.
are we?
Yeah, I mean, Jerry and I can meet with Mike if that seems to work every year. And we might start the conversation in a general manner, depending on the budget and what comes down. But I mean, it's really almost kind of early. I mean, we're pretty good at putting these concerts together. It doesn't, we turn them around pretty quickly.
It'd be nice if we could manage to divide things up across the town so we have stuff going on every weekend instead of putting 3 things on the same weekend. I don't know how we, one organization can't do that. We all have to work together on that. But
Well, but there's something to be said too. Sometimes it works when a couple of different organizations have had something like on the same weekend. People get all excited and go to all of them.
Yeah.
Or am I dreaming?
Or it feels like the city is just a hot spot for stuff to do,
Right.
Yeah.
Get tuned into, let's see what's going on in town.
much
That may
going
be
on.
kinda-
I mean, I think Webster Arts and the Commission did that for something. Was it the gazebo or something? And we just said, hey, tell people that when they finish here to go to the other one.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, are there any other topics we need to discuss? Does anybody have any other miscellaneous?
Just a miscellaneous update on the content for the website regarding the public art. I think I've basically finished what I can finish on that, and I handed that over to Jennifer. I think her next step she suggested was talking to communications in the city to see what next steps need to happen to try to get that up on the site, or what other specifications we need for photography or whatnot. So anyway, that is kind of that next step. So I'll just wait to hear back on that.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
talk to Jenny and see what we can do.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Well, and when that is ready to roll out, we should definitely have some buzz about that. I mean, I know it'll be on the city website, but I feel like we need to keep exploring avenues for getting the word out into the larger community about what's going on.
Sure.
So people can keep up with us. Are there any other updates? Anything else? Yes, Jerry?
I would suggest that we start again to think about what our basic mission was, which was public art. And we still have a pad left at the garden now. And especially since the development will not be coming through and destroying our half of the garden, we should be thinking about more visibility in terms of our public art. So we have that space that's there, and we have a lot of other spaces too. I still have a piece sitting in my driveway that if anybody wants to find a spot for it, you're welcome to it. But I do think we should think about our public art again. Taking a look at what we have out there, seeing if anything needs to be repaired or fixed. The pieces that are at the recreation complex, the Brother Mill pieces, we should take a good look at them, make sure they're in good shape. And that rabbit just sits there, and we really ought to think about how we use that in some fashion too.
We could use that for a beginning of a month. You're supposed to have a rabbit on the first day. Use that as an incentive
something.
for everybody to go visit the rabbit on the first of such and such.
I'm sorry, Marilyn. Where did you hear that? A rabbit at the beginning of a month?
Is that understandable?
What are you doing over there?
I don't think we should just hop into anything,
Oh, you guys have had too much coffee this morning.
What religion is that?
I just,
But just
I had just two things maybe one was when the SG collaborative thing was going on, they had that presentation by that company from Canada to create all those outdoor stuff. I had collected their name and website, which I had sent on earlier. I'm just wondering if that's something we should, continue to think about as we think of these different public art venues, to see about, working with them at some point to create one of these. Their items were really cool and interactive that they presented that day.
Mayor, do we have a master plan that dictates all the sites that are approved by the council?
No, they're not approved sites, but at one point, it's
Okay.
old though. It is really old. We had done something
Don
with the
did it.
sites. We'd have to
Yeah.
pull that out.
It was nodes and pathways or
Ways or
something. It
something.
was, but yeah, unfortunately, Don has left us because he
I
was,
mean, we can get it from him.
well, no,
And
I know we
probably have it
can, but,
somewhere too.
but he was really integral.
The one
to
who
putting
pushed that.
together.
Yeah.
And-
Integral to it.
But it
Um,
would give us a good plan to
Yeah.
But
go
what
back
are,
to, you know.
are you thinking, Alex, that we should pick out a couple of locations?
Well, yeah, I wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything that required like levels and chains of approval, I guess, or if there was something that was already pre-existing, that a map, if you will, that kind of strategically trying to tackle. But then to your point, kind of like if there isn't, or if there's some type of draft of that, we can look at it, identify what makes sense, and then kind of to your point, you said, you have a piece of art. It's like start identifying, either donors or even, dare I say, new commissions to figure this out. I mean, there's Gateway Foundation and things like that. I mean, we can start reaching out to the entities that might be willing to do loans as well. I mean, nobody's dying to loan stuff out, but you can always ask.
Yeah.
Um, normally what happens with council is that we have found the piece and where we would like to put it, and then we take it to council for approval.
Okay.
I wonder though, Alex, would you be willing to reach out to Don? I mean, or Jennifer, can we make this happen so that you can see what, and not, this is not like it's set in stone, anybody's married to it, but just at least see what the thought was 10 years ago and take a look at it and with your expertise, maybe make some suggestions for what to prioritize.
And the list probably needs a refresh, just since with construction and with
I'm
different
sure.
things, there's probably ones that don't exist anymore.
I'm sure a lot of it is gonna still be, relevant because, the land is land. So like Jennifer said, if there's some construction that is inhabited something, it's good to know, but otherwise,
Yeah.
we're not gonna have another 40 acres someplace that we can play with. We still have a finite space. It'll get smaller probably every year.
Yeah, and I'm happy to kind of
would you-
spearhead that initiative.
That would be
Oh, yay.
fantastic.
That would,
Thank you.
Yeah,
That would be.
yeah.
that would be great.
That's my most greatest interest is public art kind of expansion and
Perfect.
not necessarily preservation of it, but expansion of it and kind of the new things. So
And Alex, I am totally with you on that because I think that's where we started. And I think sometimes it's not necessarily that we look at a plan that is old plan that has been created. But what happens is you're driving around and your eye hits something and you think, whoa, that's the most perfect spot for a piece of public art. What can we do with it? I think that's how the rabbit, for example, that we got was really a lot of work, but also somewhat serendipitous. And then, we looked for locations and the location seemed to be perfect.
We
don't
really
already
had that
have-
experience a bunch with the pieces from Lohmeyer too. Like everything's
Yeah.
kind of just
Yeah.
like that just sprung up, and we were able to capitalize on that. So
And then in
we
the
don't
past-
already have kind of like sorry, go ahead, Patrick.
No, go ahead.
We don't already have like a pre-identified sense of Clayton that are art collectors and patrons and all these types of things. I know some of them are already on the commission, but something like that, do we?
One idea that's been
not
out
that I'm
there,
aware
and
of.
I wouldn't call it a plan, but I remember Don and I kind of trekked out the space between Old Webster and Old Orchard around Lockwood and identified places where public art could, sort of this idea of a sort of a grand art road like Lockwood where you
Corridor. I think you
a
were calling
corridor,
it
that
a
was the word,
corridor.
yeah, corridor, where it would be rather conspicuous that, oh, there's art going on here, along a stretch connecting the two business districts.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great plan moving forward to just identify some eye-catching spots. And Alex, yeah, to your point, if we have an idea of who would back art, it's probably in Jerry's head.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I'll tell you, here's a good example, Alex, is that the Barbary Park piece, Preston Jackson's beautiful sculpture, was that sort of serendipitous, came through a lot of discussion.
Yeah.
And once we found that, and we found the artist, and then you just go out and we raised the money. I mean, we raised $150,000 to get that piece up and going. The Arts Commission played a big role in moving that from a cheap metal into a good metal. I mean, that was not some big gross plan that we formed 10 years ago. It was whatever.
Yeah. Well, to your point, I mean, this idea of if it's a corridor or some type of vision or master plan that kind of talks about this vision of various different public art, or even puts it in a map form, that inspires collectors and donors to get involved and be involved, whether it's donating, lending, or commissioning new work. I mean, and those folks exist in Webster, or they just need to know what's going on.
No,
Yeah, I
would-
know. I mean,
that would
we
be
did
fantastic.
we did that with raising $150,000, most of which came from people here in this community. So if you have something good that you want to do that people buy into, you can raise the money for that.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, Alex, if you would be willing to sort of spearhead that identification process, that would be fantastic.
Sure. I'll get it a start and circle back around.
See what happens, Alex, you bring up an idea and before you know it, you're spearheading it,
Oh yeah. Sure. No,
That's what happens around here.
Perfect.
I'm also seeing a fair amount of chat going on here about murals. And I'm wondering, we were well underway, like John had already organized the plan for the train trestle, blue sky. Did we just hit a stone wall on the railroad?
Yes, they wouldn't do anything for it.
Yeah.
There's somebody else in town who wants to do murals that is from the First Congregational Church. What is his name? Doug Miller is trying to put together a group for murals in town. And I told him that we had already thought about this, and he's contacted some people on the council like Emerson, and I'm on it. Nothing's come of it because he never did his research to find out that we've already thought about all of this. And he never came to the Arts Commission. I told him to contact the Arts Commission just to know about, a lot of people forget to do research.
Yeah. Yeah, good ideas are a dime a dozen.
Well, Marilyn, maybe if you're part of that group, you can keep us posted, because that is certainly something that we have talked about in the past. And
here's the latest he was going to do. He was going to paint the wall on the rec center, what is it, the restroom area that faces the pool. There's a wall there, a brick wall. And he was gonna have they were thinking about painting a mural on that wall.
Well, isn't there a process where this commission or somebody has to approve a piece of work
Yes.
before it just gets
Yes.
painted?
And that's
you
why I
just-
said he should contact us, and he hasn't done anything yet.
You just
It's
can't
only
go
one
and paint
person.
on city property because you think it's a great
It's
idea.
only a one person thing, and it's his idea, and he hasn't gone on to really find out about it.
Who is this guy? Who is Doug
His
Miller?
name is Doug Miller.
well, I mean, like I said, if you're part of his group, tell him that
I have.
it's not like we're a bunch of scary people. We'd be happy to have him chat with us.
Not like we dress up as Grendel.
Well, not this early in the day, anyway.
He must be on an art committee from the First Congregational Church, because that's where it started. and nothing else is, but he keeps writing things that he's doing. I don't know, he's doing more research, but he really hasn't come out to find out what the city's doing.
Well, maybe he's not really that serious then.
Maybe he's so retired, he doesn't have anything else to do. I just thought of something though, that's ridiculous. We should have a totem pole of banned books between the garden cafe and the Yoside.
Yeah. And
Actually, I bet the library would go for that. They'd
Yeah.
probably let us put it in their reading garden.
You better check with the Aviation Commission about the height of that thing, though.
Fortunate, fortunate, but true.
Kind of,
Could be dangerous for flybys, you know.
well, I'm thinking that would be kind of fun because we could get leftover pieces of wood that, you know, just rectangular wood and paint the covers of the books and then just put them on a long pole.
Hey, Buzz Spector's your guy. He's the book guy.
Yes, but he's
I
out
got a
of
book
town.
coming. I got a book coming out in March, and I'm working really hard to try to get it banned.
good.
Because then it sells out.
Yeah.
One I've read, it's kind of easy.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody else have any? I believe we've moved through miscellaneous into other at this point.
And that always happens.
That's the sweet spot for us.
The sweet spot lies between miscellaneous and other. Is there anything else that we want to discuss?
Well, I have something, and I hope I'm not speaking out of line or putting anybody on the spot, but we have an opening on the commission, I guess. And I'm just wondering, after the election and everything, will Jerry Welsh join us as a commission member, or
Yes, yeah.
Very good
is
question.
that, you know? we
Jerry,
move it
can
to
you
the front
put
of
in
the
your
line if there's a big
application?
line? What?
Lovely idea.
It's a great idea.
Sure, I'll put my application in. Well, thank you, John.
Great.
It's a great idea, John.
One of the things that I really am not looking forward to is losing touch with this group. So sure, then I can help Alex. He and I can cause a lot of trouble with art everywhere.
Great.
I'll tell you
Yeah, I'll
how
put my
dumb I am.
application.
I thought you were a member of the commission.
I don't know what we do without you,
Thanks, John.
Jerry.
No, you'll
That's
be fine.
that's a great idea, John. Any other miscellaneous and other?
Well, since we were speaking of the rabbit, why don't we have a birthday party for it? We
Around
don't
Easter?
have there's no
When-
date. We could just.
When's
make-
a rabbit's birthday?
Do we have to have cake?
Wait,
Easter?
So we
What
have
are
our
Carrot
one
Carrot
sheet cake, or cupcakes, just
Let them eat
cupcakes and have it for one day and just that we just have a party.
It could be like the summer solstice, like June 21st or beginning of summer,
There's something about, you know, having,
beginning of spring.
yeah, Easter time.
Actually, the beginning of spring officially is in 2 months of
Yeah.
March
Oh, that's
22nd,
Right in poetry month.
whatever, right?
Please.
Right after the equinox.
Yeah,
You
that
could take a selfie with the rabbit on its birthday and submit it, you know, and have a art exhibit or something.
yeah.
The Easter rabbit, I don't know. Maybe we can coordinate something with Holy
Well,
Redeemer.
we can't have it as the religious.
Webster, the home of
Maybe
the
all
Easter
the
rabbit.
Christian
Have
churches.
Easter mass out there or something, yeah.
I'm sure all the Christian churches would be behind every bit of this.
Yeah. Yeah. I can just hear them say, that's not quite what we were thinking.
Right. Any other miscellaneous other? Okay, so Jennifer, I believe our next, oh, okay, Dave, I'm sorry. You've had too much coffee this morning too. Dave says we could dig a hole so everybody could go down the rabbit hole.
That's perfect.
Or for that
Um,
matter, maybe in poetry, but we could go back to not necessarily poetry, but Beatrice Potter and all the books that relate to rabbits.
Run, rabbit, run.
Run, rabbit, run. Yeah,
Watership
rabbit is
Down.
rich.
down the
I
rabbit hole.
think those are banned, actually. aren't they?
Well, there goes the totem pole.
Okay, our next meeting is March the 1st, I believe. I'm
Correct.
Saying that, and I'm assuming it's probably a Zoom deal.
I'm assuming also.
So stay tuned for that.
Uh-huh.
And if nobody has anything else, I think we might go ahead and adjourn this.
You
All
think
those in-
we should do something for Don since he's retiring from our committee.
That's not a bad idea. I wonder what we could do.
I mean, he's been here since the beginning and
you know.
we're gonna really miss all his input.
Yeah.
No kidding. No kidding.
Can we have him as an emeritus member?
Well, at least a
Um,
letter or something, or a card or a.
Yeah, we can at least do a card or
Card.
something.
Can we officially have a day for him while you're still in office, Jerry?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Just thought we could get his name up on the sign or something, some kind of official. That's a very good point, Marilyn. We should do something. So let's think about that.
All
right.
Anybody has any good pictures of him, I would be glad to, make up a funny card if there's anything that you would, want to put on there, and then we can all sign
With a
it.
giant head.
What
Yeah.
about, what about, John, to take that idea and like, you're so good at like, caricatures and things like that, to have it on the card saying something appropriate, like thank you or
Yeah.
whatever. And then that if he wanted to frame that, it would be something
Yeah,
that he
that's
could
what I'm
frame.
saying. I've done these for, corporate things, and so all we need to do is, we already know some things about him. He's an architect, and then he organized that award, the award. So there's things we could have him doing there that,
I think that's a great idea. I think he'd really treasure that.
and then we could all sign it. We could pass it around and sign it, put a note on there, and then he could do what he wants to, put it in a drawer or frame it, put it up.
But we
Could
can,
have it in my
yeah.
office and you guys could all come sign it if you were able.
That is a great idea, John.
That is a
Wonderful.
great
Um,
idea.
Do
if we
you
could get some-
know Tracy? Do you have her contact?
I do. I mean,
That else
She
has-
would maybe have photos of him that
Yeah.
you could work from.
I think I'm friends with her on Facebook. I can find that too.
If
Or,
Maybe we could actually go one step further and do it and then actually mat it for him. And that way he would get like a matted piece that he could do whatever he wanted with.
Mhm.
Well,
I can-
if it's on
I'll
the
keep it
size,
to
I
I'll
I
plan
frame
it
it.
to a standard size, like 60.
Yeah, to a standard size, like
And work
11 by
back from
14
that,
or
so-
something,
Yeah, we could work out that way.
Great.
like an 8 by 10 that would fit an 11 by 14, and
Right.
he could do whatever he wanted with. Hang it in his office or something. I think he'd really like that.
That's a great idea, John, and thank you for that offer.
Yeah.
That would be a really good thing.
And this won't
I
be,
can talk to Tracy. I'll
You're-
see what I can get from her.
this won't be as
John-
subdued as the Stephen Wolf one either, because Don's still alive.
John, are you, did you see that Lauren just sent Tracy's cell phone number in the chat? Which I think will disappear after this meeting, so
Oh,
if you want to.
you want me to call her, or?
I think
thought-
let's let Jen do it. Let's get somebody who,
Yeah.
Jen knows Tracy pretty well, so.
Perfect. All right,
uh,
cool.
Perfect.
Is this, just as a question, I guess this is safe enough to put somebody's telephone number on that chat list like that?
No. It's not.
I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. I mean, I think it
I don't
goes away
either, but
after
I'm just
the.
saying,
Lauren, you're
disappears.
you
muted.
know, in the future, you gotta worry today.
Because this goes out to the public and
Oh,
I
well,
don't know.
the chat disappears. The chat
The chat
disappears.
disappears? Okay.
That's my
good.
belief, yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's all
Sorry
right,
about
Lauren. I just meant it to know, that's all I was
Yeah.
questioning. I didn't.
2 years in, we're all still learning Zoom. All right. Well, I am actually going to have to scoot here. I think we've wrapped up. Unless anybody has anything else,
Yeah, see you tonight.
stick around. But yes, well, more fun ahead. So I guess I will see you all on March the 1st. That's everybody. All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take
Uh,
care.
So,
Hey,
Have a good day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I